The Apple Magic Mouse 2 is not a bad mouse, and stop complaining about the charging port. I'm Scott with Techno Eclipse, and let's begin the video. First, don't forget to check out my Twitter and Instagram in the links down below. I hardly use Instagram, but I do use Twitter, and I'm very, very funny. So you should definitely check me out over there. But let's begin the video. So the Apple Magic Mouse 2 is one of the most frustrating products Apple's ever made, and not for the reason you might think, but I'm going to tell you at the very end so you stick around. That's how TV shows do it. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to tell you it right now because that's lame and lazy. The Apple Magic Mouse 2 is a good product, and it's not bad because of the charging port. It's bad because everybody complains about the stupid charging port at the bottom of the Apple Magic Mouse 2. If I see a video with another darn complaint about the location of the charging port on the Apple Magic Mouse 2, I promise you I'm gonna cry. It's not even out of anger, it's just out of pure sadness. I'm just gonna sit down after I finish vomiting blood. I'm gonna sit down and cry because that is the laziest and lamest and most disappointing complaint with an Apple product. Like, you can complain about other stuff. I don't really like to complain about the actual cost. I like real, raw complaints, like usability. This thing wasn't that usable. Apps didn't work very well with it. This program didn't work very well with it. There are a lot of issues with the thermals, and Apple doesn't let you access that. There are real complaints with Apple products, but the Apple Magic Mouse 2 is not one of them. If you are somebody who sits down and types in a comment section, the Magic Mouse 2 has a charging port at the bottom, it's a stupid product, you're a stupid product. Get wrecked, fam. But seriously, you are complaining and you are just pandering to the lowest form of YouTube watcher. And it's so embarrassing to see. I just recently watched a video by a bigger tech YouTuber. I'm not going to name his name, but he had a complaint about an Apple product he received because the charging port on the Apple Magic Mouse 2 is at the bottom. For somebody who doesn't use Apple products to complain about that is a complete shame and a complete waste of time. The problem with that is they aren't somebody who actually uses that product on a day-to-day basis. Somebody like myself has actually used that product. And guess what? When my Apple Magic Mouse 2 is running low on battery, okay, this is crazy. They warn you at like 20%, 10%, and then 5%, at least on my computer. So I had this crazy idea. I know, stick with me. If you're not already sitting down, please sit down. And if you're on the toilet, please stand up. And let me tell you something about this Apple Magic Mouse 2 charging situation. Okay, it's going to blow your minds. When I got to 20%, I thought, I don't need to charge it yet. I'll wait a little bit. So then I didn't charge it that night, okay? And I finished my work and I was like, oh, wait a second, I should charge this. And I plugged it in. Okay, and this is the craziest part. All right, you're sitting down or standing up. It was charged the next day. Oh my God, is that crazy? So it was crazy because I was able to use it. And then when I got the warning, I was able to plug it in and charge it overnight. And then it was good. People that complain about the Apple Magic Mouse 2 charging port are literally the laziest and most disappointing people on the planet, in my opinion. If you're going to complain about something with Apple, make it a legitimate complaint. If you're complaining about the Apple Magic Mouse 2 charging port, you might as well just delete your account and go sit in the corner for like a month and a half, think about what you've said, and then come back, make sure you eat and drink and go to the bathroom and shower and everything, and then come back and you can activate a new account, and then that way all of your past mistakes have been deleted. Because at the end of the day, complaining about this is the laziest thing ever. Let's look at the Magic Mouse 2. It's a beautiful mouse. It is the most beautiful mouse on the planet. The top of it has a beautiful white finish, or if you have the space gray one, it has a beautiful black finish. It's got a plastic top that allows you to do more than just what a normal mouse does. Well, most mice that cost that much money allow you to do other things, but this Magic Mouse only has one button on it. So it is magic, but not really. Essentially what it is a trackpad on a mouse with less functionality. Personally, I'm not like the biggest fan of the Magic Mouse. I'm really not. I'm a much bigger fan of the Apple trackpad. But seeing people complain about the Magic Mouse is so stupid and redundant and lazy, and it's so frustrating to me, which is why I'm angry right now. When you look at it at the end of the day, the Apple Magic Mouse 2 is not a bad product because of the charging port. It might be a bad product because there are no buttons on it. But when you look at it, compare it to a different mouse and tell me that it's not the most beautiful mouse you've ever seen. It literally is a perfectly beautiful, symmetrical hockey puck of a product, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. There is no mouse that can compete with that. The mice that I've used have been gaming mice, whatever they're gaming, and they fit a little bit better in the hand, and I'll admit those ones are more comfortable to use, although way less functional normally, especially in Mac OS with all the functionality with a 2-finger swipe over and the side scrolling with it. You do get enhanced functionality with the Apple Magic Mouse too. Next, let's talk about how there's only one button. More expensive mice typically have more than one button, but Apple has historically chosen design over functionality. And while some people will say that this is a bad thing, I might actually agree with them, but in some cases it's not. I mean, if you look at other computers and other technology, they have been making these sacrifices for years. Apple is just one of the best at doing it, and it's served them very well. When you talk about sacrificing functionality in terms of aesthetic, you're talking about the Razer Blade, how it can't cool some of the best processors and the best graphics card, and how even the newest Razer Blade Pro can't even have the top-end i9 chip inside of it. It just doesn't allow it because it can't thermally support it. That is taking design over functionality. You're reducing the power in order to increase the beauty of the product. The Dell XPS 15 has suffered from the same problems where the CPUs get way too hot and then they thermal throttle it down, and then you get CPUs running at like 1 gigahertz because they're so afraid of actually breaking them or whatever, or just not being able to thermally support them. Look at Apple's MacBook Pro, a great example of a product that can't thermally handle it, but in terms of the aesthetic, it's a beautiful laptop. Look at any phone that's been released this year, even Samsung's Galaxy S10 lineup with a huge hole cut in the display. You can't tell me that's not a sacrifice in terms of making the aesthetic look better and kind of reducing functionality. There's just that little circle, there's just a camera, there's no face unlock, there's no facial sensors on the top. You lose a lot of functionality, and even with the thumbprint moving into the display, you might gain a little bit of functionality, but those fingerprint readers inside of the displays are a little bit slower than the ones on the back of them. So companies do this all the time. This isn't a new thing, and the Magic Mouse is just another one of those products that has sacrificed functionality in some cases for design. And honestly, the people that complain about these mouse, whatever, are just lazy, and they've never used one because it's not a big deal to charge it. I've never even had one problem with it because I always have a free hour away from my computer. In fact, I'll go days without using my computer, and I know a lot of people do too. And if you're not spending more than an hour away from your computer, you either live on your computer and you don't ever sleep, or you're dead. So the problem is, at the end of the day, people are complaining about the same garbage things with Apple every single time they post a video, and it's so stupid. Make a real video with real substance. Don't just be like, Apple removed the headphone jack. Apple took away ports. Apple, why is that Magic Mouse 2 look like that? Like, that is the worst and laziest complaints I've ever seen, and you see them on videos all the time. It's so freaking frustrating to see these companies, to see these people. I slipped, I said companies. That's what these reviewers are. They're just companies, and they have to watch their skin, they have to watch their neck, they have to watch every single word they say, and they know who their audience is. Whether the product is really good or really bad, it doesn't even matter because they have to watch their necks. They know if they primarily make fun of Apple, they could never compliment them on anything, and they always have to find something to nitpick about them, like the Magic Mouse 2 and the charging port. These companies, these reviewers, are not reviewers anymore. They're just businesses disguised as a YouTuber. I mean, at the end of the day, that's all they are. And it's frustrating and it's sad because YouTube could be a much better platform than it actually is. But once money gets involved with everything, it normally ends up ruining it. So if you have a YouTuber that complains about the charging port at the bottom of the Apple Magic Mouse 2, you can officially stop watching their videos because they're not a viable reviewer, because all they're doing is pandering to the lowest form on YouTube. Thank you guys for watching. I'm Scott with Techno Eclipse. Sorry I was so angry in this video. I don't really apologize, but I'm going to say it so I don't seem like such a butthead. Alright, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.